Hello everybody, the Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shawna L. Francis and today is January 30th, 2024. We're a 12th through this year already. How's everybody doing? I'm feeling it's been super intense. It's the weekly briefing. I'm so glad that you are all here. We are rocking this, right? We're doing this. We're doing the work. We are figuring this out. We're walking paths that nobody has walked before. It is go time, team. It's go time. Let's see here. Today's briefing. I took off to Mexico on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. Bought the ticket on Saturday, left on Sunday. Just decided I needed to get down here and get some grounding and some sunshine, just with all of the emotional roller coaster rides I've been on the last couple of months. And then also I found out on Friday of last week that I have hit another big snag with my medicinal mushroom grow business. Team, how long have I been at this? I want to say a year and a half. I have to stop and go back and look at maybe it's even like 2 years almost now by this time, but gotten really far with the new location in downtown Portland, and I'm hitting a snag with the landlord and their banks. The bankers are saying, well, this is still a federally illegal substance, so I'm not sure we can support this. So trying to figure out plan B. Anyway, I'm sure the guides will want to weigh in on this. I have not literally had a chance to talk with the guides about what I do with this business. Do I move forward? Is there something else in store for this? Do I bag it all together, which I'd really hate to do after all the money and time and effort I've put into it, but I just don't want to be pushing that boulder up the hill, so that's kind of where I'm at mentally here. Ideally I'm going with the flow and everything's just moving along swimmingly and everything's going, it's more easy than it's been. It just really hasn't been easy, so I'm kind of just questioning this and where I go with this. But I'm an advocate. I really want to see this happen. I really want to be a part of this movement. I want to help bring awareness to this beautiful Mother Nature's majesty, this beautiful medicine that we've just scratched the surface on what this energy is able and capable of doing for us, with us. And I think it's perfectly time for the ascension as well. So anyway, kind of just like I just needed to get out. So I'm in Mexico here. It stormed all day today, actually, and all night last night. But it's been busy. I haven't even set foot on the beach yet. Maybe tomorrow we'll get that done. Melchizedek this last week really has been talking about, Shawna, please make sure that you are guarding your vibration, like really, really working hard to make sure that your vibration is as high as possible. And then I take off to Mexico, and I've had travel, and I took folks to the airport yesterday. So it's just been, it's been nuts. And really today was the first day in a few days that I was able to really sit down and spend time with them. And I do have a channeling from Melchizedek, and we are going to be, I just wanted to, because this is really up for me. I'm like, okay, team, give me just the basics here. At its most basic, how do we maintain a high vibration? There's all kinds of things that we can do to make sure our vibration's high, but, I'm feeling good, I'm eating good, I'm getting exercise, I'm feeling upbeat and positive, but I hadn't had a chance to meditate. So I'm really pondering, what does it take to really maintain a high vibration? What's just the give it to me straight kind of thing. So they have an answer for that. And also related to that, I was asking about, what about our monkey mind? What about all this mind chatter that's constantly going on in our heads? How does that impact our vibratory field? I'm reading, I actually read, and I may have mentioned this already, The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. I listened to this on audiobook, and I pulled that back up. I did a quick hike this morning, needing to get the heart rate up, and I brought that book back up. I was kind of in the mood for that, so I was, that's really germane. This internal dialogue that's always happening, kind of that mind chatter. How do you quiet that down? Should you quiet that down? What is it in fact? So The Untethered Soul, I highly recommend it. Actually, I think it's a good read. I think it's and it's a great audiobook as well. So they had, I thought, an interesting answer for that as well. So I thought that was really good. So it's probably not going to be a long video. We'll get right into this. I hope everybody's doing amazing. And again, I'm so glad that you're here. Almost into February already. Where's the time going, guys? I hope I hope it's not so chaotic for all of you. I hope everybody's in joy and at peace and doing their thing and having fun. All right. I asked Melchizedek, and this was just this afternoon that I was able to channel this. I really had no content for this video until a couple hours ago, a few hours ago. All right. Well, first of all, I was really just thanking them for their patience with me, that I was feeling kind of bad because I hadn't really, they had said, we really need to be meditating as much as possible. We need to be working with your field. You know, last week we talked about this book being opened and all this new information pouring forward. And then it got kind of wonky. So anyway, I was just like, you know, talking to them about this, and they're like, there's just no need to apologize. You have super high integrity with this process. We understand that you've got a lot of commitments and responsibilities and it's busy. Just not to worry. They're just saying no stress on this, no stress. I said, thank you so much, team. And we've talked about the negative reptilian regime really being angry right now, right? And just pumping, you know, whatever negative vibes they can, however they can reach us with these fear vibrations, the dense vibrations, the darkness, anything else that they want to do to help keep our vibrations low. So I had just said, you know, truly, I said, at its very most basic, what's the best way for us to maintain a high vibration? And I said, I can name a bazillion things that would impact it, but can you just break it down and just to the brass tacks? They said, thank you, dear one. Let's see here. It's a fair question. They said, Shawna, being in the upper room, maintaining a high vibration in this form, you have the mental, the emotional, the physical, the energetic, and all of these things being absolutely related. You have belief systems, they said. You have your heart, and of course, love versus fear. And also awareness, the raising of consciousness. All of these things tie together, Shawna, to create your vibration, your vibratory rate in any given moment. So this is more complicated probably than what you were hoping for, as there's no simple answer to this. And they continued here. What we'd say first and foremost is, let's just really be in a love state. Catch yourself when fears come up of any kind, dear ones, any kind. Be aware of the fear first of all, and then take the time to understand what is driving this fear. Ask yourself, can I choose differently in this moment? Knowing who and what you are in truth and how you're serving in truth, can you make a different decision? Make a different choice that puts you more in the spectrum of love and acceptance, peace, and joy? And if not, what kinds of steps might you take to alleviate that fear, transmute that fear, replace that fear? They said, love at its most basic is the realization that you and every human such as yourself are all divine expressions of Source. All divine expressions of Source. This is what they're saying. Love at its most basic is the realization that you and every human, such as yourself, are all divine expressions of Source. And then it went radio silent. Man, it was just this longest pause, and I'm like waiting and waiting. I went ahead and paused the recording, and after about 5 minutes, I was checking in again. I'm like, hello, is anybody home? And then they did come back in and they'd say, yes, Shawna, we're here. We'd like to continue. Okay. They said, as we were saying, sometimes that just happens. I don't know if they're pondering the answer or if there's just some static in the field, but sometimes there are these pauses. And I'm not the most patient person. They said, as we were saying, each and every one of you is a complete and beautiful expression of God, of Source. There are no exceptions to this. And we understand that this knowing does not always come natural. But the potential is there, to truly know, dear ones, know it deeply, and to get this at the innermost levels of who and what you are. Love, kindness, and universal acceptance are the cornerstones of living a high vibrational life. So there's a pretty good answer. Love, kindness, and universal acceptance are the cornerstones of living a high vibrational life. You know, it's interesting because, you know, they're not saying drinking lots of water and getting good rest, right? It's all about the consciousness. We have this vehicle and we want to take good care of this. And I think for us, it's really easy to focus on this because we feel like these are kind of some things that we can control. You know, we can choose to get a good night's rest most of the time, choose to exercise, choose to eat healthier, choose to, you know, really maintain our physicality. But I think when it comes to the emotional and the mental stuff we have, obviously it's a little bit tougher. And so they talk quite a bit about this. They said, from this place, all other things are easy. Life is able to take on a flow where the boulders, the static, and the detritus become mere blips in one's experience versus insurmountable challenges. And then there was another pause here. And so I said, can I ask a question? They said, of course. I was just basically asking, you know, we're constantly having this inner dialogue going on in our minds. It's just this constant flow and this back and forth. I said it could be very ego-driven. It could be fear-based. It could be negative in tone. I said we're still very much learning to treat our thoughts as if we were speaking them out loud, as if everybody could hear them. And I think it was Cryon who talked about this originally. Hey, everybody, why don't you just pretend that your thoughts are being broadcast out and everybody knows what you're thinking? Like, it's such good practice for us. I said, how much do our inner thoughts, these inner dialogues, actually, and they're constantly happening, actually impact our vibration? I said, how big of a deal is the inner dialogue on our vibration? They said, excellent question. We say it is critically important, very important, Shawna. As you are aware, everything is energy, including your thoughts, even your innermost, deepest thoughts. These thoughts carry a vibration, a resonance that extend far beyond your physical vessel. We'd go so far to say that the negative self-talk, the negative thoughts, the internal berating and beating up yourself or others are just as important as the words you actually verbalize. That's an eye-opener. And they said here, your inner thoughts are a deeper reflection of your belief systems. And if your belief systems are not in alignment with love, kindness, and universal acceptance, your thoughts will reflect this. A person, they said, may be outwardly loving, kind, and accepting, but if internally there is a misalignment here, it will have a great bearing on the vibratory field, both individually and collectively. Okay, I'm thinking that makes sense. Another pause here. I said, you know, this monkey mind, the inner chatter, you know, it's a big deal for us. You know, it stops people from meditating, from getting quiet, from getting in touch with, you know, what's actually important and the truth of who and what we are. You know, if we're constantly keeping ourselves busy and distracted with these thoughts and everything else we do to distract ourselves, you know, it's got to make it just, you know, very hard. I said there's tons of books on the subject and all kinds of things out there that could help us. But I said, do you have any recommendations for people who battle the inner dialogue, the inner thoughts, to help keep us on track? And they said, yes, Shawna, thank you. They said here, first, we say that everyone has thoughts and inner dialogues. This is a natural part of being human. It's a survival mechanism. It's a coping mechanism. It helps you maneuver what can be a chaotic experience here on Earth. Therefore, we'd recommend that your approach not include shunning the inner dialogue or trying to eliminate it altogether and then getting upset with yourself when you are unable to get your mind quiet. But first of all, we'd say, would be to really stop and be consciously aware of what the voices are saying. What are the voices saying? Being conscious of this. So imagine you're just going throughout your day and you're constantly, whatever is going on, you're always talking to yourself in your mind. It does happen. That happens for me for sure. They said, be consciously aware of what's in your mind, what the voices are saying. What belief systems trigger the thoughts? What are the thoughts saying about where you are at in this moment, especially in terms of evolution and growth? They said here, intuitively, you may not be aware of that negative self-talk, berating intuitively, you may be aware that the negative self-talk, berating oneself, scolding oneself, would be of a lower vibration than unconditional love for oneself, uplifting thoughts, kind thoughts. So we know this intuitively. Once the inner dialogue has come to more of the forefront of your conscious awareness, you may want to look closer. Where is this voice originating? Is it truly your voice, or is it the voice of somebody from outside of you? Again, and as they were saying that, it's not literally like outside of you, but like, it's a mother, a father, a sibling, somebody who was possibly judgmental of you growing up or as a child. Like a lot of times we've got that kind of voice in our heads. And I know this through the hundreds of one-on-one sessions that I've had with you. We seem to take on those personas and adopt them as our own, but truly they never originated with us. They originated outside of us with somebody we thought was important, again, like a parent or a grandparent, a sibling, a friend. These things tend to continue to speak to us. They said here, who is ultimately controlling the dialogue in your mind? And again, what belief systems do these thoughts represent? So imagine if you have always told yourself that you are never, going to amount to anything and that you're a failure. That's a belief system. So now all your thoughts, many of your thoughts, are going to be a reflection of that belief, that outdated, outmoded belief system that is completely not in alignment with your higher vibration world today, right? So that seems pretty intuitive. They said here, connecting with that aspect of you who knows who and what you are in truth, and that you are each divine expressions of God, how does that change the thoughts, the dialogue, the words, the statements, the judgments, the labels, the arguments, and everything else going on at any given point in your mind? Is it old programming, old conditioning, old expectations, outdated ways of knowing yourself in relation to others, outdated ways of knowing others in relation to you? And then I would also add, are these things just reflexes? Like it's just a habit, like somebody cuts you off on the freeway and you're going to do a tirade of swear words in your mind. Is it a reflex? Is it a habit? I think that's a lot of what we have, we just kind of do it because we've always done it. And then they continue here. And then comes choice, dear ones. In this moment, do you choose differently? Remember that this evolution in consciousness requires great change. At the deepest of levels, this is not a superficial makeover. This is change from deep within. Do your thoughts seem to be in discord with love? Do your thoughts tend to reinforce dogma, old expectations, and outdated view of the world? Allow that part of you who knows who and what you are in truth to be the observer of these thoughts from a high degree of conscious awareness. What outdated beliefs could use an overhaul? What's inside of your control? And then feel empowered, dear ones, to take a risk and do something different that's more in alignment with love, kindness, and universal acceptance. First for yourself, then for others. This is so critical, guys. Are you getting this? We'll start here, and that's really where they ended it. We'll start here, so more to come. So this channeling, even though it's like, oh yeah, I kind of get this intuitively, it's really encapsulating all kinds of points that they've made recently about unconditional love, about universal acceptance. We did a whole channeling just on universal acceptance. It's been a couple months. I mean, we've been at these weekly updates since what, March of almost a year, March of last year. So much, right? There's so much here. I just want to give another plug, low power mode, another plug for journaling and another plug for meditation. And I know that there are some of you who are just like, I don't have time to journal, I don't have time to meditate, or I can't meditate because my mind doesn't let me relax and I just have so much to do. I really get that. Like, I can relate to that frame of mind. And I'm in this beautiful place where I've got the time to spend for hours in a day, you know, working with these guides, working with my field, getting my mind quiet, and I work at it every single day. Even today, I sit down and my mind wants to race, and I've got my phone sitting there and I get a text and I take a look at it. Finally, after 45 minutes, I'm at this place of pure contentment. It takes me a while to get there, even after 5.5 years at this. So really be gentle with yourself, be kind, but do give it a try, guys, if you haven't yet. Really try to, and whatever that looks like for you, you know, meditation, again, we don't even have to call it meditation. Call it quiet time where you are investing in yourself and your well-being. If you don't have 15 minutes for quiet time for yourself, what can you do, guys, to make that room? What decisions and choices can you make that makes room for you? If you don't have 15 minutes to journal, you're just too damn tired at the end of the day or whatever that is, what can you do in your world to make room for that? We are light workers. We are a different, we're cut from a different cloth here. We have these missions of light. We're way showers. This is really such, I think this year, I mean, it's always important to be, you know, in your highest vibration and working on behalf of the light, but things are only going to get more intense from here, only going to get more chaotic, only going to get more crazy in terms of the disclosure and the kinds of heaviness that we are being asked to transmute. So if you're not doing these things, I call them, I mean, I would really go so far as to say that these are table stakes. These are just the very basics that you need to be doing, especially the meditation. If you don't feel like you can do the journaling, I think that's okay. But, you know, 15 minutes a day at a minimum, if you can work yourself up to an hour and make time for that in your world, that would be incredible. It would be life-changing. Anyway, there's so many, you know, here's another thing. I mean, there's so many guided meditations out there. I say you could start with those if you're not already meditating, but ideally you're getting to a place where you are just in stillness and quiet, just really trying to get that mind to be quiet and to connect with your heart, connect with love. Ask our guides, how can I be of service? You know, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know in this moment? How can I provide more love to this planet? You know, how can I love myself more? And that's where the journaling comes in, because you'll probably get an answer. So grab a book, grab your phone, record it like I do. You know, make sure that you're keeping track of what the universe wants to tell you, or what our guides want to tell you, what your higher self wants to say. So we are in this field now, team, where the collective consciousness is really active. Our intuition's going to spike. Our capacity for love is going to open up. All these new opportunities are going to present themselves. We are going to be tested from all angles, and we've got this. I don't feel at all that we aren't ready, but certainly there's always things that we can be doing to be prepared, keep prepared, maintain this high level of vibration, yada, yada, all that good stuff. Okay, team, I'm going to wrap this up now. And I do expect to talk to you next week. I'll be here for a few weeks, I think, doing my thing, and just kind of getting grounded, getting centered, getting some sunshine, and getting some R&R. All right, guys, I love you all so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your likes, your subscriptions, your comments, and your emails. I'm a little bit behind on emails, but anyway, I so appreciate you guys. You're the best. All right, team, I'll see you next week. Mwah.